The stepmother tore my academic uniform in public and poured sulfuric acid on me. The camera of the live broadcast focused on my bloody wound. During the 10 years after Mom's death, I had tried countless times to persuade Dad to get over his sadness. Now, he finally found a satisfactory partner. I was sincerely happy for him. As his daughter, I couldn't miss his wedding. After getting off the plane, I went straight to the dormitory and changed into my academic uniform. I was going to take a rest before the ceremony, but as soon as I turned on my phone, I saw that my stepmother's social media account was broadcasting. I thought she was sharing her wedding with her fans, but when I watched it, I found that it was not the case at all. The bride had finished her makeup, but her eyes were full of tears. "Thank you for your support. I didn't expect a college student to be so shameless. Even the venue of my wedding was up to her." I watched the screen comments gradually change from celebrating the wedding to beating up a mistress. I wondered if there was any misunderstanding. I knew my dad very well. In the past 10 years, in addition to his colleagues, he had no woman around him. But as soon as I sent out my comment, it was instantly drowned in the comment area. There were more and more people watching the live broadcast. Just then, someone knocked on the dorm door. As soon as the door opened, a huge force knocked me to the ground. A group of men in security uniforms rushed into the female dormitory and lifted me up, my feet off the ground in an instant. My glasses fell to one side and I instantly lost my sense of security. I stared at the woman in the wedding dress with my eyes wide open. The camera went straight to my face. Stephanie said sternly, "Look carefully, everyone. This is the student who seduced my husband. She doesn't look like a good person. Her hair is dyed in different colors. What did the college teach you? I don't know what kind of parents can teach such a bitch. Today, I'll teach you how to behave on behalf of your parents." I looked at her face. I didn't expect that the first time we met would be like this. Just as I was about to explain, she slapped me. I was hit so hard that I was dizzy and tilted my head to the other side. Before I could react, I was slapped on the other side of my face. The sharp pain on my face made me lose the ability to think. Her friends pointed at me and cursed. "What have you done at such a young age? How can you seduce a married man like a bitch? Do you really think we are easy to bully if we don't teach you a lesson? You're still wearing an academic uniform. Do you think you're qualified, bitch?" The noise attracted the attention of the students in the next dormitory. In an instant, a group of people surrounded the door of my dormitory. It took me a long time to calm down. I gritted my teeth and looked at Stephanie, suppressing the anger in my chest. "Miss Smith, I think you're mistaken. I'm not the mistress you're talking about, and college students aren't what you think they are either. I hope you respect me." Thinking that my father had chosen his wife for 10 years before he brought her home, I wanted to save her face and suffer a loss, but I didn't expect her to sneer after hearing that. She pointed at the suitcase I brought back from abroad and said coldly, "If you're not a mistress, who are you? If I'm not mistaken, there are all the luxury goods that my husband bought for you. You really spend a lot of his money in the past 4 years in college. Do you dare to say that you didn't send the photos on the internet?" As soon as she finished speaking, she took out her phone and scrolled to my post in the morning. The picture was of me holding my father's arm, carrying the latest Chanel. I wrote, "No matter what happens in the future, we will be the most important people to each other." At the moment, I realized that I was the cause of her misunderstanding. The anger in my chest was instantly replaced by speechlessness. "You're mistaken," I blurted. "I'm not the mistress you're talking about. Didn't my dad tell you he has a daughter in college?" Stephanie looked me up and down. She snorted and said sarcastically, "Do you think you're qualified? My husband's daughter has already gone abroad to study. Who do you think you are? You're a whore instead of a college student." She reached out her fingers and poked my academic uniform hard. I was so anxious that I sweated profusely, but I couldn't find a reason to prove myself. When Mom passed away, Dad directly changed my surname to Mom's. Now the name didn't match. Seeing my anxious look, Stephanie smiled triumphantly. "You have nothing to say, do you? You bitch, if I don't teach you a lesson today, you won't know who you are." As soon as she finished speaking, she ordered. The security guards behind her rushed in and smashed everything visible in my dormitory. Stephanie turned to look at her phone and aimed the camera at the messy ground. After reading all the comments, she said, "Thank you for reminding me. I almost forgot about this bitch's suitcase." Then, she opened the suitcase regardless of my wails, and the things inside were scattered all over the ground. She said sarcastically, "Is this a school or a whorehouse? Your skirts are shorter than my underwear. Disgusting. What university is this? When I expose your scandal to the school leaders, they will change the school rules." She turned around and asked the security guards to carry me out. The struggle in the dormitory had exhausted all my strength. At this moment, I couldn't refute her harsh words. The graduation ceremony was ready, and many students entered one after another. Stephanie dragged me to the podium with the security guards. As soon as the security guard let go of me, I fell on the stage. Pointing at me, she grabbed the microphone on the stage and said angrily, "This is the good student taught by your school. How dare you steal a married man and do such a shameless thing? Where are the leaders? Come out. You must give me an explanation today." The students sitting below were terrified. The school leader also rushed over when he heard the news. Seeing this scene, he was so anxious that he broke out in a cold sweat. He wanted to stop Stephanie, but she completely ignored him. After crawling on the ground for a long time, I finally regained some strength. Trembling, I stood up and looked at Stephanie coldly. "Aren't you afraid of ruining your wedding by doing this?" Unexpectedly, she sneered. "The reputation of this school has been ruined by you. Do you still want to threaten me?" After that, she turned to look at the live room and said in a sarcastic tone, "My fans, did you see that? College students nowadays are really amazing. I don't know what they have learned in school." That's how she threatened to cancel my wedding. She was even more arrogant when she contacted me alone before. Should I teach her a lesson? As soon as she finished speaking, I was pressed to the ground by the security guard who rushed up. Another person took out a bottle of liquid from his bag and slowly poured it over my academic uniform. The sound of fabric being corroded could be heard, and it made my hair stand on end. At this moment, I could not care less about my reputation and hurriedly begged her for mercy. Wait, I admit it. I admit that I seduced your husband, okay? Let them go. Stop doing that. The corners of Stephanie's mouth were lifted into a sneer, as if she were watching a show. Are you scared? You are so timid. It's just the sulfuric acid. Can't you stand it? How dare you seduce men? I just want you to remember this lesson for the rest of your life. You son of a bitch. I'll teach you a lesson today. My show of weakness did not get her to stop. Instead, the security guard poured sulfuric acid faster and faster. Hearing her insult my mother, I clenched my fists and gritted my teeth. Aren't you afraid that I'll call the police? All the people present are my witnesses. After that, she looked around. No one dared to step forward at this time. Stephanie let out a sinister laugh and slapped me. When a corner of the wedding dress touched the liquid on the ground, it instantly turned black. Who do you think you are? What right do you have to threaten me? I'm the one who's going to marry into the Zick family. She suddenly raised her eyes and glared at the security guard who was trembling. Do you have strength? Get lost. Stephanie snatched the bottle from his hand. She poured all the acid on me and shook the bottle hard with a fierce look. Fearing that he might get hurt, the security guard who was controlling me let go of me. The burning pain on my skin made me roll on the stage and scream. The more miserable the situation was, the crazier Stephanie became. She lifted the hem of the wedding dress with one hand and ran to me. She reached out to pull my hair, grabbed it with both hands, and dragged me to the front of the stage, letting me face the audience. My scalp was torn apart by her, and tears welled up in the corners of my eyes. The festering skin stuck tightly to the remaining cloth, and the slightest movement would cause me to grimace in pain. Stephanie's eyes were scarlet, and she screamed, "Do you still dare to be a mistress in the future? Speak, you bitch! I'll show you how powerful I am today. I'll tear your face apart if you send another message to my husband." Stephanie pulled my scalp and pulled me up. She focused the live camera on all the wounds on my body. A bloody scene appeared in the broadcast room, and the audience exclaimed with satisfaction. The number of likes increased. Stephanie gained millions of fans in a minute. At that moment, my phone suddenly rang. She took out my phone, glanced at it, and threw it at my face. The nosebleeds poured out, and I felt numb from the pain. Stephanie shouted at the top of her voice, "You bitch, how dare you contact him? I'll tear your face apart and won't let you seduce others." I had never had the habit of saving numbers, and I didn't save my father's number, which had shattered her sanity. The phone rang in front of me until it hung up automatically. However, I didn't have the strength to answer the phone. I was under Stephanie. She had no time to do the live stream. She held my head tightly with both hands and pressed my face hard against the sulfuric acid left on the ground. I didn't have the strength to struggle at all. My consciousness blurred. Just as she was about to press my face into sulfuric acid, there was a sudden noise outside.